the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget. This guy had has lost 8 pounds since the show began. All right, Maya. I don't know, Maya, if you saw this cover, but they would think that nothing is being done on the budget front. But stuff is, you're saying, though, the kind of stuff that they're talking about, to balance it in 10 years, they might as well not be doing it. You don't buy the math they're using, right?
Well, no. So they can do a lot of things at one time. They can walk and they can chew gum and they can probably even do a couple other things. And as we're going to see next week, they are doing a lot. We're not only going to get that health care score, which is going to move health care forward, the budget's going to come out on Tuesday. And so, yes, what we're hearing is that they are going to balance the budget in 10 years. And what I'm really pleased about is that they have a fiscal goal to improve the fiscal situation. What I'm more dubious about, and I'm not going to judge it till I see the budget, is whether those underlying policies and numbers are all realistic. I think it's really encouraging.
God bless you, Maya. You're going to reserve judgment until you know the facts.
No covers. We're not going to put any covers out until we see.
Until you know the facts. All right. So let me tell you some of the early rumors we have on this. That they are assuming 3% growth. They're going to leave Medicare and Social Security alone, but they're open to dealing with Medicaid. And they're looking at ways to cut back on federal employee benefit programs. But however the math ultimately crunches together, they're saying within 10 years, a balanced budget. The growth assumptions alone would be unprecedented, certainly in recent years. But that could change the math mightily, right?
Yeah, those growth assumptions are going to be one of the biggest questions in the whole budget, and that's right. They've let the public know that the growth assumptions are probably going to be that the economic growth in this country will get up to 3% by the end of the budget window. And keep in mind, projections right now are for under 2%. And that sounds low, but unfortunately it's realistic because we have this massive aging of the population. And to get growth up to 3% would actually take unprecedented productivity growth.
Well, what is our average, Maya? I mean, I know it seems like an impossible leap, but there were periods under the Reagan years and the Clinton years where we had substantial growth. I guess averaging and keeping that going is another thing, right?
We sure did. So 3% wouldn't be inconsistent with our history, but for one fact, that at that period, our baby boomers, the biggest generation by far, was entering the labor force, or women were entering the labor force as well, and they were in their prime working years. We don't have any demographics that are going to bolster our growth the way we had like that before. There are policies we could be thinking about. We could change some of our retirement policies to encourage people to work longer. There are a lot of public policies, from tax reform, regulatory reform, reducing our debt, which will all help growth. But I think the main point is 3% is something to aspire to, and to realize that it's a tough goal. We should not count on it until it happens, because what we don't want to do is use that growth assumption to paper over the real differences between our spending and revenues, which are going to need some policy solutions. But again, this budget looks like it's going to shoot for balance, which is great. Looks like their tax plan is going to be revenue neutral, which we hope they would stick to. They're going to have real specific spending cuts. I wish they would touch entitlement reform. That's the big piece of all of this. Sounds like they're not going to go where we really need to go. But I do worry about those growth numbers. It doesn't sound like they're going to add up with the realistic assumptions about where we can really get.
But at least they're doing something. And, of course, it has to pass muster with you, but it is proof that they are trying to do something. All right, Maya, thank you very, very much.